What is up, guys? This is Aninounce returning with a new format and a new host. I'm going to be, for now, who knows, hosting Aninounce. I'm Brian. Let's start with the first piece. On Monday, July 31st, Sony Pictures TV received a majority stake for Funimation, a company that they estimate values at about $150 million, leaving the CEO of Funimation, Gen Fukunaga, with a minority stake. For those who not in the know, Funimation is a company that mainly delves into streaming and selling English dubbed anime. President of Worldwide Networks of Sony Pictures TV had a word saying, "Around the world, Sony's networks have been major players in the anime space for nearly 2 decades, and in more recent years, we have rapidly increased our network over-the-top and digital offerings to consumers. With the acquisition of Funimation, the combined IP of Animax, Kid Station, and Funimation allows us to deliver the best anime to fans across all screens and platforms. Animax being a Japanese anime satellite television network, so they basically air and distribute anime to a bunch of different countries, including Japan, of course. And the same goes for Kid Station, another TV station that airs anime, but for kids. That's what it's called, Kid Station. Gen Fukunaga also had a word saying, with Funimation's long-established leadership position in anime and Sony's direct access to the creative pipeline in Japan, it will be a great partnership to take Funimation to the next level. Chairman of Funimation, John A. Colbith, and lead investor Doug Deason had a word saying, Funimation experienced tremendous growth and success since 2011. We believe Sony, Gen, and his team are uniquely positioned to lead Funimation and its fans into an exciting and entertaining future. So far, all this really means is that Sony Pictures TV is kind of buying out Funimation, as it were. We don't know what this means in terms of sales for Funimation because they do distribute and license a lot of anime. We don't know if that means people are going to be paying more for the Funimation's English dub, simulcast services or their DVDs, and we don't know where this means Funimation will suddenly start getting licenses for a lot more anime. All we know is that Sony Pictures TV is buying out a very successful, a very rising company of Funimation. It has been doing a lot of great work, and they're doing a lot of great dubs, and I love everything Funimation does, but I don't really see a worry to be had yet. We don't really know. Again, we don't really know what will happen to Funimation with this essentially a buyout. The CEO of Funimation still is the CEO. He's still running his show. He's still doing his thing, and that's fine as long as they're not expediting and they're not just pushing their own work. If it's just this stock holding game that they're doing, I think that's fine. As for shows being announced, Dagashi Kashi, the Candy Store anime, just released an announcement for 2018 Season 2 launch. For those not to know, Dagashi Kashi is a anime slice of life series featuring a guy who doesn't want to inherit his father's candy shop and a girl who joins him in trying to convince him to inherit his candy shop, and hijinks ensues. It's a pretty interesting series and it's quite funny at times, and I didn't really expect the second season. It is very well welcome if we are getting a second season. Sound Euphonium, also known as Hibiki Euphonium, received a new trailer for its movie adaptation on Tuesday, August 1st, named Sound Euphonium Todoketai Melody, or The Melody I Want to Deliver. Picking up from the ending of the second season of Sound Euphonium, where their band is ready to set their sights for the national band competition while Kumiko is worried for Asuka leaving the band. The movie is expected to hit Japanese theaters on September 30th, 2017, and is definitely something I'm very excited for because Sound Euphonium is an awesome KyoAni feature. If you haven't watched Sound Euphonium yet, now's a better time than any to catch up on Sound Euphonium. 2 seasons, pretty great. It's kind of a mix between a band anime and a drama anime, which is usually how the case goes with these things. It's not just about the music, it's about the drama, it's about the people, it's about characterization. Dandelion, an animation studio that has done a lot of outsourced work for CG, on Tuesday released the OP for RoboMasters, an animated series based on the actual RoboMasters competition where engineering students make and pit robots against each other. The plot description reads, Tantan, a freshman university student who is determined to perfect his aerial drone without any assistance from others, has a chance encounter that leads him to open his mind about his design philosophy, and along with his new friends, he prepares for the annual RoboMasters contest. The series is expected to begin broadcasting in Japan on October 13th of this year. And although this plot description doesn't really give us much, it's probably a more generic plot description than anything, the trailer is freaking awesome. The show potentially can be either a very action-oriented show or it can be a very big letdown. At this point, I really hope that the show can be something that we don't really take seriously in the terms of a serious plot per se, because, in hindsight, it's about these kids who are just messing about with robots and pitting toy robots to fight against each other. I don't think there's going to be a breakthrough in anything with this kind of plot, but since they have practiced a lot of CG. The studio and with the trailer, it does look like it'll be something very, very fun and action-packed to watch, at least with the whole concept of RoboMasters. Those kind of, pitting robots against each other are always very fun. And if they capture the battle atmosphere and they capture the excitement of seeing plastic robots fight each other, then I think it'd be awesome as a series. And I have my head held high that the show will at least be somewhat entertaining in that department. A new unit for Wake Up Girls titled Run Girls Run is being added to the upcoming season of Wake Up Girls airing this October. Wake Up Girls, if those who don't know, is a more lesser known idol series that attempts at a more realistic take on the idol genre. And the only reason why I'm putting this here is because I really, really enjoyed Wake Up Girls because of its realistic take on the whole idea of being an idol. It's not really a very nuanced way of doing it though. It's still very much, filled with drama as with idol series tends to do, but it really grounds the whole idea of being an idol. It really sets it home, and it's something I would actually believe happening, and that's why I really enjoy Wake Up Girls, and that's why I'm very excited for the second season coming. Coming right along in October is the anime original Just Because, with an exclamation mark, that recently revealed the designs for 5 of its main cast on Saturday the 29th. For those who don't know, Just Because is being animated by Panjam, the guys behind the currently airing Gamers. Plot is described as, on the verge of their graduation at the winter of their 3rd year of high school, a classmate that had suddenly moved away in middle school transferred back to his friends and stirs their ending high school lives. Now, of course, this doesn't really sound, particularly extravagant from just that, and it could all very well turn out to be some generic romance romp, but I will remind that Tsukigakure, a fantastic romance show that aired in the spring, was also an anime original. And not to mention that Nagi Yanagi is currently being credited as music producer for the show. So if anything, that's something to look forward to. Of course, with other staff, we have Atsushi Kobayashi, the director of the show, who's worked on a variety of different shows as episode directors, including Tanaka-kun, Gangsta, Sao Season 2, and Prison School. We also have Hajime Kamoshida being the scriptwriter, who is also the original author of The Pet Girl Sakuraso. And that's promising. The Pet Girl Sakuraso, for all the complaints I may have of the show, it's not a bad show at all. It's pretty good. So hopefully this show with its pretty good staff members, including what I'm most excited for is the music, with Nagi Nagi on the track. But with this such a generic concept, there's room for anything to happen in this, and I hope that it doesn't take a generic stance on this generic concept. And that's really what I wanted, and that's what something like Tsukigakure gave me in the romance show. It took things about the romance genre that I didn't like, and they very much melded it into its own. As for the airing shows, if you haven't been following this summer 2017 season at all, then you're probably 4 to 5 episodes behind on practically everything airing. If I had to say without spoilers, Princess Principal is keeping a consistent tone on what it wants to be and has established itself to me as probably my favorite show of this season. A very silent surprise and a very, very misleading show, because if you've seen a title like Princess Principal, you think, wow, this is a moe romp show, which it isn't. It's anything but a moe romp show. It's a very serious spy show, surprisingly, a show about spies doing what they do best, spying. It's a very clever show. Isekai Shokudo continues doing what it does best, being an episodic restaurant anime from another world, giving us each week interesting insights into this vascular world and into different various dishes that these otherworld beings order. It's a very different take on the food genre, that's for sure. And new episodes of New Game Season 2 is of course more Yuri pandering moe game creation that we all love. 18if is turning out to be my sleeper of the season, a very surprising and interesting show that will definitely turn heads if you give it the time of day. Give it at least 3 episodes, really. 18if doesn't really have a great score right now. It's very confusing if you just watch the first episode, but give it a little more time, it definitely picks up. For sure. And speaking of turning heads, if you're not watching, which I don't expect many people to, Vatican Miracle Examiner, the JC staff anime trying to be a serious mystery, does not end on its rails and continues to be completely insane and doesn't seem to want to care or stop. Which brings me to an amazing column done by Anime News Network that basically describes how freaking insane this show really is. And to close off the news week, Netflix has recently acquired some new IPs, including Fate, Apocrypha, and Kakegurui. However, they are airing Fate on November 7th for the US and Canada, and even later on December 2nd for worldwide audiences. And Kakegurui is expected to be seen on 2018 on Netflix. And that is very, very, very worrying for the fact that simulcasting and fan subs are practically airing these shows or are practically giving us a way to watch these shows as it's being aired. And Netflix is taking such a long time just streaming these shows out for an audience. Though it is another step forward, I guess, for the anime community. At any time these big companies are taking upon anime, it is a big step forward, but this is not how you do simulcasting. These shows should not be taking this long to get to an audience when they're being aired. People might as well just turn to fan subs at that point, although for a vast general populace, having a Netflix extended anime category is, well, that's always a plus. So I can't really complain that Netflix is taking this damn long, but yeah. Just over the weekend, on July 27th up until August 1st, Twitch did its first ever Crunchyroll collaboration where they streamed a marathon of anime for everybody to watch. 15 different titles were streamed, which on Twitch's avenue isn't exactly something they haven't done before. They streamed marathons like this in the past, but again, never anime. They never streamed anime. So that's definitely a huge step forward for the emerging anime community and current community alike. It was very, very interesting seeing how successful this was, because it was successful. It did bring about a lot moving forward for everybody. For those that didn't think that it would do anything, there was an amazing Reddit post by Random McRandom 3996 who posted his experience getting into anime through this random Twitch marathon stream that he saw. He got into anime because Twitch was doing this random thing, and it really did, I feel, bridge a lot of people together, because Twitch is a primarily gaming community. Twitch is all about streaming games, and a smaller part of that is streaming creative things. But now we have the anime community and the Twitch community coming together for this weekend, watching anime, just coming together and doing something that one side loves and the other is, willing to love, because they're there watching a fucking Twitch stream of anime. And I feel like this is a huge step forward for not only Twitch, but also Crunchyroll for, putting themselves to be more mainstream. That's always a positive. I wonder what else is going to be in store for the future. If Crunchyroll's convention on the horizon, I wonder how else things will move. And this is a very interesting time to be following the anime community with all of these new things happening. And that was Aninounce, a show that's definitely not seen the light of day for a long time, but we're renewing it. We're doing it in a different way, and hopefully it sticks. If you don't know who we are, then maybe try checking out our other content. We do a bunch of anime-like content, including analysis and podcasts, and we're trying to roll out a bunch more of those because we enjoy doing this. We love making anime-like content. So if you enjoy anime content, then maybe consider sticking around and seeing what we do. But anyways, I'm Brian. I'm signing off for today.